Hello folks, in this video I'm going to show you how to create some policies for the mobile devices. Today I have Mike's iPad who is in the product management group, which requires some of the basic policies set up like passcode and some of the restrictions which are the best practices to manage the devices in the mobile environment. I'm going to go ahead and click on Mike's iPad, which shows some basic settings such as when was he last checked in, his phone number, service provider, and serial number. It also shows me the group assignment and the summary of current policies. Let me go ahead and click on the Groups tab. As soon as you click on the Groups tab, you can see that there's a basic policy or a global policy. The global policy is also a default policy, and you can edit that global policy by simply clicking on Edit Policy drop-down and selecting the correct category of devices. Below the global policy, you can create as many groups as you want. Today I have product management, marketing, and some of the other groups created, and there is no limitation on creating the groups. The groups can also be created by separate geographies or any other naming convention within your organization. The groups also can be edited by selecting the Edit Policy drop-down button and selecting the correct category of devices. Let me go ahead and select iOS since I'm going to modify the settings on Mike's iPad. Before I change any of the settings, let me bring up Mike's iPad and show you this iPad again, which is a simple iPad with few applications. Some of the native applications, as you can see in front of your screen, like camera, iTunes, FaceTime, are present on this page. Coming back to the policy management screen, the dots indicate that the last time I visited this page, these were the policies which were edited or modified. They also indicate that some of the policies at the dots were inherited from the global policy. First of all, let's go ahead and secure Mike's iPad. So that means I can configure a basic passcode policy. I'm going to go ahead and click on passcode and allow simple values. I can have some more configurations on the passcode to allow alphanumeric values and set up a minimum passcode length as long as I want. I'm going to keep it simple to 4 characters today. I can allow more complexities in the passcode policy by an auto lockout period or a passcode history that I can set up, or a maximum number of grace period for the device to be locked out. I can even set up a maximum number of failed attempts before the data on the devices will be erased. The next policy is about restrictions. When I click on restrictions, there are several options that I get. I can restrict most of the native applications, and I can have many other configurations, detailed policies, as you can see on the screen. In the iCloud section, by default, most of my data which has been backed up on the iCloud, which I do not want as a corporate administrator, and I can restrict that from happening by just simply unchecking the box of iCloud. I can restrict some of the native applications like Safari, iTunes, and YouTube. So let me go ahead and uncheck iTunes and Safari. If I go further down, I'm going to also uncheck camera. Just to demonstrate some more settings and policies, there are some security and privacy settings that I can have control over. I can even restrict TV shows, applications, and movies which are rated PG-13 or R. Let me scroll back up. The Wi-Fi policy was already configured, and that is why it had a dot against it. A service set identifier test was configured, but I can configure separate policies for Wi-Fi with separate security types or many different encryption types. And let me show you one more policy, which is web clips. A web clips is a real simple policy, but a very efficient one, a very useful one, where you can hyperlink a web clip or an agent that you can push out. So that means I can call Dell Vice and I can hyperlink it to a URL called vice.com. It straight away opens up the web page vice.com. Let me go ahead and click on Save and Publish and open the screen for the iPad. Keep an eye on the iPad, where in few seconds, in a real time, a policy will be pushed over the air, where the camera, iTunes, FaceTime, everything which is restricted will be removed. Boom, there it is. All the applications which we restricted, which are camera, iTunes, and FaceTime, are absolutely gone. They've just been removed. They're nowhere available on the iPad. So now my iPad is completely restricted from those native applications. Recall that we had a web clip which is called as Delwise. If I click on or if I tap on Delwise, it opens up wise.com, the web page, directly in the full screen. Let me go back, and as soon as I go back, there's a passcode requirement. Also recall that we set up the passcode to secure Mike's iPad, which requires a passcode to be set up in 60 minutes period. I can go ahead and tap continue and set up a simple passcode as I want. Now Mike's iPad is secure. I can confirm these settings by simply going back to the screen and clicking on iOS policies and expanding the restrictions as well as the other policies that I've created at the product management group level. I can even go to devices, select Mike's iPad, and scroll down and take a look at summary of current policies, which shows me the policies which has been configured at the product management group level and applied on the iPad. So this is how you can configure most of the basic settings using the group level settings. For more information about setting up the policies, please visit cloudclientmanager.com. Thank you.